Welcome students to this additional mathematics session for grade 10. Well, we are going to start the chapter of quadratics. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to factorize quadratic expressions of the form ax squared plus bx plus c using a particular new method which I have called it the magic X method. Right? It is a very helpful method. It is not difficult to learn. Right? Once you have mastered this method, then factorization of quadratic expressions will be very easy. Okay? So let us start with the first example. It says factorize the following expressions. The first part, we have x squared plus 5x plus 6, right? So the quadratic has how many terms? 3 terms. When you factorize a quadratic containing 3 terms, you already know you are going to obtain 2 pairs of brackets, right? Now, which method are we going to use? The magic X method. We are going to draw a big X here. So let us begin. We consider the leading term, which is x squared. What is the coefficient of x squared? It is 1. And we consider the last term, which is positive 6. We consider the first term, which is 1, and the last term, which is positive 6. What do we do with these two numbers? We multiply them. 1 times positive 6 is positive 6. So we write it here. This is the first step. Okay. Now we consider the middle term, which is 5x. What is the coefficient of 5x? It is simply positive 5. We write it here. Okay. After doing this, now you have to think of two numbers. Two numbers which, when you multiply, give positive 6, and the same two numbers which, when you add, give positive 5. What are the two numbers? Let us write down the possible combinations. Let us consider multiplication first. So what are the two numbers which, when you multiply, you obtain positive 6? We have 1 times 6. Oh, 6 times 1. It's the same thing. The second possibility, negative 1 times negative 6. The third possibility, 2 times 3. The fourth possibility, negative 2 times negative 3. Do we have other possibilities? No. So these are the possible combinations. When we multiply, it gives positive 6. Right? Now, Among these possible combinations, we have to select two numbers which when we add give positive 5. From which combination can we obtain positive 5 when we add? Is it the first one? 1 plus 6 gives 7. No. Negative 1, when you add with negative 6, it gives negative 7. No. Positive 2, when you add with positive 3, it gives positive 5. So this is what we were looking for. So this will form part of our answer. So we write down the first number here, which is 2. The second number here, which is 3. Right? Now what you have to do, you again consider the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. What you do with this one, you divide both numbers by 1. 2 over 1, 3 over 1. Right? Now we fill in the pairs of brackets. You already know, since the leading term is x squared, in both brackets there must be x, because x times x gives x squared. Now what about this one here in the denominator? Where are we going to insert this one? The 1 simply becomes the coefficient of x in the first bracket, and the second one here again the coefficient of x in the second bracket. Right? Now we consider the numerators. We have positive 2, so you write down positive 2 in the first bracket. The second denominator is positive 3, you write down positive 3 in the second bracket. Right? Now, it is almost done. The first bracket is x plus 2, and the second bracket is simply x plus 3. Because 1 before the x, you can ignore the 1. So you have been able to factorize the given quadratic expression using the magic x method. Right? Let us try a second example. We have x squared minus 18x plus 56. Right? Again we have 3 terms, so when you factorize you get 2 pairs of brackets. Then we draw the x. We consider the leading term, which is x squared. The coefficient is 1. And we consider the last term, which is the constant, positive 56. We multiply these two. 1 times positive 56 is positive 56. Okay, the first step has been done. Now we consider the middle term. The coefficient is negative 18. So we write down negative 18 here. Okay, now we have to think of two numbers. Two numbers which when we multiply give positive 56, and the same two numbers which one we add give negative 18. Let us write down the possibilities. We consider multiplication first. Multiplication. So what two numbers which when you multiply give positive 56? We have 1 times 56, negative 1, negative 56, 2 times 28, negative 2, negative 28, 4 times 14, negative 4, negative 14, 7 times 8, and negative 7, negative 8. From these possibilities, now we have to consider the addition. What are the two numbers which when you add give negative 18? What are the two numbers? Is it 1 and 56? No. Is it negative 1, negative 56? No. Is it 2 and 28? No. Negative 2, negative 28? Still no. 4 and 14 when you add, it gives positive 18. It is close, but still no. What about negative 4, negative 14? When you add, it gives negative 18 as required. So this is our combination here. We have to select negative 4 and negative 14. Right? Now, after having filled the x, we go back with our quadratic. We consider the coefficient of x squared again, which is 1. What do we do with this 1? We divide both numbers by 1. Right? Now we fill in the brackets. Let us fill in the brackets. As you have x squared, you know x squared is simply x times x. You consider the first denominator is 1, so this becomes the coefficient of x in the first bracket. The second denominator is 1 again, it becomes the coefficient of x in the second bracket. Now we consider the numerators. Negative 4, you insert negative 4 in the first bracket. Negative 14, you insert negative 14 in the second bracket. It is almost done, so we have x minus 4 times x minus 14. That's it. Okay, now let us see another example. Again, the question says factorize. The first part, we have x squared minus 2x minus 15. Right? We have three terms, so when we factorize, we get two pairs of brackets. Then we draw our x. Right? We consider the leading term, which is x squared, the coefficient is 1. And the last term, which is negative 15, we multiply these two to give negative 15. Okay, now what do we consider? We consider the middle term, negative 2x. The coefficient is negative 2. Insert negative 2 here. Okay, the next step is to consider two numbers which when you multiply is going to give you negative 15, and the same two numbers which when you add they are going to give you negative 2. What are these two numbers? We have to select them from a list. We consider multiplication first. Negative 15. We can take 1 times negative 15 gives negative 15, or negative 1 times 15. We can swap the signs. Okay? Or we can take 3 times negative 5, or negative 3 times 5. Is there any other possibility to obtain negative 15? No. So let us see. We consider the addition now. From these possibilities, what are the two numbers when you add they give negative 2? Is it the first pair? 1 when you add with negative 15 gives negative 14. No. Is it the second one? Negative 1 plus 15. It gives positive 14. No. Is it the third one? 3 when you add with negative 5. This gives 3 when you add with negative 5. You know plus and minus is minus. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So this is the number that is required, negative 2. So our possible combination here of the two numbers is 3 and negative 5. Insert 3 here, negative 5 here. Okay, so we are done with the x. Now we consider the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. What do we do with the coefficient of x squared? We divide the two numbers, 3 and negative 5, by 1. Now we fill in the pairs of brackets. Since we have x squared is x times x. We consider the first denominator is 1. It becomes the coefficient of the x in the first bracket. The second denominator 1. It becomes the coefficient of x in the second bracket. The first numerator is positive 3. We insert the positive 3. The second numerator, negative 5, you insert the negative 5. And this is simply x plus 3 times x minus 5. Right? So now we move on with another example. Here you have 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. Let us observe this quadratic very carefully. What is the leading coefficient? The leading coefficient is 2. In the second term, what is the coefficient? Positive 10. And the constant is simply positive 12. Right? If we observe carefully, the second coefficient, that is 10, is divisible by 2, and the third term, the constant, also is divisible by 2. Yes or no? Okay, if you have a situation like this, in which the second term, that is the second coefficient, and the last term is divisible by the leading coefficient, then what you can do, you can pull out the leading coefficient, which is 2, outside the pair bracket. This 2 here, you can pull it out. Okay, now let us think, what are we going to write inside this bracket? The first term is 2x squared. Let me remove this. Since the first term is 2x squared, 2 times x squared gives 2x squared. You have your plus here, insert the plus. 2 times what give positive 10? It is simply 5x. And you have plus again, you put your plus. The third term, 2 times what give 12? Simply 6. Okay, so we carry on, we keep the 2 outside. Now this quadratic here, you simply use the magic X method to factorize, and this quadratic has already been factorized from previous example. We got x plus 2 times x plus 3. Okay, let us see the next example. Again the same question to factorize. We have 6x squared minus 7x plus 2, right? So again the quadratic has 3 terms. When we factorize, we obtain 2 pairs of brackets. Then we draw our magic X. We start with the leading term, which is 6x squared. We consider only the coefficient, which is 6, and the last term, positive 2. We multiply them to give positive 12. Okay, now we consider the middle term, negative 7x. Its coefficient is negative 7. We write it here, negative 7. Right? Now the next step is to think of 2 numbers, which when you multiply give positive 12, and the same 2 numbers which when you add give negative 7. What are the 2 numbers? We have to draw a list. The first possibility, we consider the multiplication. 1 times 12 gives 12, or negative 1 times negative 12 gives positive 12. 2 times 6, negative 2 times negative 6. 3 times 4, negative 3 times negative 4. Is there any other possibility? No. So now we consider the addition. 1 when we add with 12, 13. No. Negative 1 with negative 12. No. 2 and 6. No. Negative to negative 6. No. 3 and 4. This gives positive 7, but we are required here negative 7. Still no. It should be this one, negative 3. When you add with negative 4, it gives negative 7. Right? So we select this possibility. We write it here, negative 3, negative 4. Now again we consider the leading coefficient, which is 6. We divide both numbers by 6. And the magic x is going to simplify 2. Let us simplify it. Here we have positive 12, negative 6, negative 7, sorry. Negative 3 over 6, it simplifies to negative 1 over 2. Negative 4 over 6, it simplifies to negative 2 over 3. Right? Now we fill in the pairs of brackets. X squared, as you know, x times x. We consider the first denominator is 2. It becomes the coefficient of the x in the first bracket. The second denominator is 3. It becomes the coefficient of x in the second bracket. Now let us take the numerators. Negative 1, you insert the negative 1. And the second numerator, negative 2, you insert the negative 2. So this is it. We have been able to factorize this given quadratic, which at first appeared to be difficult, but it is very easy when you use the magic x method. Right? So learn it. It is a very helpful method. Okay? Now you can try these 5 questions, and later on we are going to carry on with this same chapter of quadratics. You are going to learn other important things in this chapter. It is a very interesting chapter. Right? So we stop here, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as you will receive notifications for each video I upload. Till then, see you for the next video.